saying? Or?
What do you mean everything's on Nogea?
All the idea of, us being mashpia and all.
Yes, that's what he says. So, is that the question?
That's the question.
Okay. So what we learned in Perek Vav was sort of an about face of Reb Chaim Volozhin, where after he tells us for 5 prokim straight that a person is created b'tzelem Elokim and therefore is Yoshev al Kisei HaKavod and is in a sense the neshama of the whole bria. Remember, he says that if you're the neshama means the power source. So if you're in the world of Asiya, Yetzira is your neshama of the world. If you're in the world of Yetzira, Bria is your neshama. So neshama is a new type according to this. That neshama doesn't mean, something that's, some spiritual thing that's in us. But the neshama in this, there's also a personal neshama. But there's a generational neshama or a world's neshama, and that's which is really running the show. Like that's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, that everything has its neshama. Might be, by the way, that a different way of saying it is your mazel is gur. Like like it could be, mazalos are in the world above us, in the world of Yitzira. Mazalos doesn't mean the stars. Mazalos means that there's a certain teva in the world. That's what astrology means. There's a certain nature in the Bria where Pidar Hateva things will go a certain way. And that's orchestrated from the world of Yitzira. I'm taking it away just because it's easier to understand it. So I don't know if that's B'diuk, the Neshama of this world is the world of Yitzira. All I know is the Mazalos are in the world of Yitzira. And in a way it's controlling. Now, what he then said is, but an Adam is, when you go up, you have Siya, and you have Yitzira, and then you have Bria, and then you have Atzilus. That the real place of the Adam is not here in this world. The real place of the Adam is on top of Bria by the Kisei HaKavod. So therefore, ein mazel Yisrael. Okay? Therefore, ein mazel Yisrael. That's what he said. Perek Aleph, Perek Beis, Perek Gimel, Perek Aleph, Perek Hey. Perek Vav, he comes and he tells us, okay, but that's only talking about, footnote. That's only talking about the Adam HaSholem, a person who's 100% Lishma. But since we ate from the Eitz Hadas, Toiv V'Ra, so all of us have this irvuv of Toiv V'Ra. It's all mixed up inside of us. So very funny lashon, strange lashon, which I want to be omed on. Kimat, impossible. Kimat.
Sorry, where are we?
We're in Perek Vav now in the Haggah. And at the beginning of the Haggah, he says, Kol zeh hayakoydem achet. Before Adam Arishan did the chet of the Eitz Hadas, loy hayu kolaz rak l'chol ha'lamas ha'koychas ha'kedusha levad, loy mi koychas ha'ra. This is the main side. There was no ra in the Adam at all, so enach hanami, you're sitting on the kisei HaKavod, and you can push all the buttons of the bria. Aval acher ha'chet, but once we did the chet, nichlalu v'nisarvu boy gam koychas ha'tumah v'ara, we ingested the apple, we ingested the ra, so now we have a yirvuv of toivera inside of us. And everything that I'm accomplishing is this impure energy of toivera. That's what the Eitz Hadas did. So this is all talking about before the Eitz Hadas Toivera, but once we ate from the Eitz Hadas Toivera, we have this irvuv. And then he goes on to say, just read the words quickly. Before the Chetim, we had Bechira before the Chet too. But it wasn't a mixture of Toivera. It was Toivera. The Ra was over there. There has to be Bechira, otherwise there's no Bechira, then we're Malachim. And you see, in fact, we did do a chet. But to understand, Adam Arishan in Gan Eden didn't do Ra because there was Ra inside of him. He was a Tzelem Elokim, pure. 100% pure. So then we would have had a koach. Kochas harayim nim litzad. So I did a chet, but that was like outside of him. He chose to go outside of his natural, what he was, good, pure good, and do something wrong. As I said last week, I don't know, it could be the Hasidim and the Masnagdim argue about this, because the Tanya is full of explaining Tzadik Gomer. And I have to look again, but clearly indicates in Parag Gimel that there is such a thing as absolute Tzadik Gomer. And he says, he was a Baal Bechir to go into the Kochas Harach, Moshe Adam wa Baal Bechir l'kanas al toich. Just like we find a person can walk through fire if they want to, but it's not an internal struggle. Part of me wants to walk into that fire, unless you're sick. So in other words, like if somebody wants to walk into a fiery furnace, so needs a refuah shalema, but the essence of a person is not to walk into a fire. That's how Chet was in Gan Eden. I mean, Adam Rishon chose it, but he chose it for deep reasons. The Nachash, like Pitui HaNachash. You needed something as cunning as the snake. We don't find in the Torah. The story could have been written, the narrative could have been different. In other words, the narrative, if I may have this chutzpah for a second, the narrative could have been that Adam Harishon was in the God, and Hashem said, don't eat from the Eitz Hadas. And there he had an internal struggle. Should I eat it? Should I not eat it? Why doesn't he not want me to eat it? Maybe he wants me to eat it. He doesn't want me to eat it because it's going to make me too holy. It's going to make me... You don't need a nachash in this story. But the purpose of the nachash, which was, I guess, what happened, the purpose of the nachash is to show that it's an outside thing, which was arguing with the person. It wasn't coming from inside. That's the pshat in the nachash.
Can I ask a question in Klappe the Nachash? What was the Nachash's motivation to be machte man, you know? That was its etzim?
He wasn't there. You weren't there.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was the etzim of the Nachash to make someone else sin?
No, I mean, the way I understand it is that the kavanah of the Nachash, let's assume the Nachash was Lishma here, the kavanah of the Nachash was to upgrade the Bria of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Meaning, why be like robots? Because don't forget, the Nachash at that time was almost like a person, walking around and thinking, like, why don't, Adam, you have a tremendous koach here because Hashem gave you this tree to eat from. I mean, maybe the snake wasn't able to eat from the Eitz Hadas, or if you eat from it, you can upgrade the whole Bria for us. And you can be Kelokim, Yodea Tov Hara. So the Nachash was looking for an upgrade. And the Adam didn't know what to do. Should I go for it or should I not go for it? Hashem said don't. The Nachash said do it. Like you can push and get the upgrade. Don't be a friar. Don't just follow the rules. You know, you can do better. That seems to be. And it's not like our existence. We don't need any nachash to tell us to do an avera, to move the muksa, to break the diet. We don't need a nachash to do that. We do it all by ourselves. Why? Because once we ate from the Eitz Hadas, in other words, so if you'll ask a person to do it who chose to sin, why are you sinning? He's not saying, like the Christians say, the devil made me do it, the nachash made me do it. You say, that's what I want to do. That's me. I know I'm in touch with myself, and I know this is what I need to do. Now, what happened after the nachash got to him? That's what happened. We became a big cholent of toiv v'ra. So the whole fluid that goes through all of the brios and is changing everything, it's all a mixture of toiv v'ra. It's not 100% pure. This energy. Ki das Perusha Yischabris Kiyadua. Eitz Hadas. So what was the chibur here? The chibur of Toiv and Ra. Hadas Toiv and Ra. There was now, meaning what I understand here is, it's impossible, so far impossible, not even difficult, impossible for us to distinguish and separate now what's Toiv in us and what's Ra in us. Because it's such an irvuv. It's like trying to pick the beans out of the chult, right? That's what it's all mixed up already. It's all when we ate Eitz Hadas, Toiv v'Ra, there was just such a chibur, like a homogenization of Tov and Ra. That homogenization is a good word, because the shot in homogenizing something is not mixing it. It's not like there's an irvuv Tov Ra. It's like it's become one. Your milk doesn't separate on the shelf any longer. It's homogenized. It's all one thing now. That's milk. So our energy is a homogenization of Toiv Ra. So Vayinyan Mavur Lamevin Beit Chaim. I don't want to go into too much because I want to get to the next part, and this is what we talk about. We learned this last week. Vayinyan Mavur Lamevin Beit Chaim. If you learn the Arizal correctly in Eitz Chaim, he's such a baki, by the way. I mean, no chiddush that he was a baki, but he was such a makubal. You know, we think of him as a rashiv. Inyan Mavar L'Maven Beit Chaim Shaar Klipas Noiga Perak Beis. Elishikitzer Sham. He's abridged. But if you want to see a longer version, Ayin Hated B'Gilgulim Perak Aleph Zeldik Ksavim of the Rizal. Take a look in the Shaar Gilgulim Perak Aleph. But it's a Gemara. Zeshamru Chazal Shabbos Kishaban Nachash Al Chava. Hitel ba zuam. What we know about the story is what the Gemara tells us. That's the nigla here. And the nigla is that the Nachash came, hitel ba zuama. So, I mean, when we think about the zuamas and Nachash, you think like you have the venom of the snake in you. But I don't know if the snake bit Chava. The venom was here. In other words, he poisoned our minds. And once you poison somebody's mind, like, it's such an irvuv of Toiv v'Ra that you can't distinguish. Just like you find people, psychotic people can't distinguish between reality and not reality. Their own reality, So it's just you try to sort it out, and somehow it doesn't work. It just doesn't work with that person. Like everything's all one reality, or somebody's schizophrenic. Like you can't. There's a reality here of you see things that aren't really there, right? We're talking about the drug culture, right? You can see things that aren't really there, but it's a reality. So no, it's not there. It is right, it is there. So there's such an irvuv of Toiv v'Ra that you can't pick it apart anymore.
Did the irvuv just affect Adam, or did it affect all of the breeds?
So he says, Shehitel bazuama. It's very good, thank you. The Nachash was Hitel bazuma. What does he want from that? Ratzalaymar b'toicha mamish. So I just want to point something out here. If any of us do an Avera, which I presume here and there, everybody does an Avera. If a person does an Avera, it doesn't go over genetically to your children. Did an Avera, do tshuva, whatever. But it doesn't necessarily, the Avera doesn't become part of my genetic makeup. But this Avera of the Toiv Hadas, the diuk is, the Svarim say this, Hitel ba zum, it changed her whole genetic, her whole DNA. In other words, now the irvuv of Toiv v'Ra is from everybody that came from Adam and Chava, which is everybody. So everybody has this mixture now of Toiv v'Ra. This chet was different than all other chatayim, manishtana, and the difference is that this chet was different because it actually changed the spiritual DNA of a person. And from that point out, Garma Yidezer Buvia Gedoyla B'Maisa, everything that we do is in our Buvia. So here we are, everything we do is in our Buvia. Shekol Maisa Adam Hema Bir Buvia, Vishtanus Rabim Ma'oid, Pam Toiv, Pam Ra. We could be good 1 minute and bad the next minute. Mashma also that even if you do something which is completely good, it doesn't mean that the next thing I'm going to do is going to be completely good. Mishapech, it's like a revolving door, Mishapech tamid mitoiv l'ra, mira l'toiv, that's our life. But gamma maisa toiv ba'atzma, so that's talking about So here, watch this. We're going here b'madregas. One thing is, look, I'm a tzaddik, but just because I was a tzaddik when I did this Monsey yesterday doesn't mean I'm a tzaddik today. Okay, that's mishapeh. But what about what I'm doing, which is good? Is it pure good? So from here it's mashma. It can be pure good, but it doesn't mean I'm pure good. Then he says, "V'gam ma'isa toiv atzma." And here's very interesting. The lashon is very important. Watch the lashon. Let's say I'm mishapeh. 1 minute I'm doing toiv, 1 minute I'm doing ra. You see the famous Gemara in Kedushin. Harei ha'mekudeshes le'al menash ani tzaddik gamor. So it could be at this moment I'm a tzaddik. I killed somebody a minute ago. I'm on my way to kill somebody right now, and I'm going to do it. But at this moment, I could be a tzaddik. So that's harei ze tzaddik gamor, or harei ze kedushes. Choshen lekidushin. Gemara says I'm a kudush. What does it say? Choshen lekidushin. It's a marriage.
Yeah, it says mekudeshes, but the limit is that it's a shash.
Okay. Point is that it's possible such a thing. So everybody brings this Gemara. So how's it possible that I could be a tzaddik when I'm not a tzaddik? So Svensach, like I was a Russia a minute ago. I'm in a Russian in a minute from now. At this moment, I could be a tzaddik. But now we're saying a different thing. What about the ma'isa toiv atzma? When I'm in my good place, is that pure? V'gama ma'isa toiv atzma kimat. Now here's an interesting lashon. Kimat bilti efshar. It's almost impossible. He's cutting us a little slack here. It is possible, right? Is there such a thing as very
Pure good.
just existential question. Is there anything in this world which is pure 100% goodness? Just pure goodness. So he doesn't say no. I don't point out. And in this sense, he's agreeing with the Baal Tanya, Lani is died. It doesn't say no, but he says it's almost impossible. So he's leaving space for the tales of the Baal Shem Tov. Like, there is some. So kimat bilti efshar. In other words, everyone agrees it's kimat bilti efshar, but he did it right. Kimat bilti efshar l'roiv ha'olam. For most people, I mean, in other words, what he's saying is get real. You know, for most people, it's almost impossible. Almost impossible. Sh'dia kula kodesh zaka nakiya legamri.
It's rare.
Rare. So there is such a thing, he's telling us, but don't count on it. Don't think that this is where you're holding. So what are we holding? Yerbuv toivera. So, by the way, I pointed this out on Thursday. Let's not make a mistake here. He's not saying that that's a bad thing. Like, you know, there's nothing to go home and get depressed about. Oh, I'm a Yerbuv of toivera. That's mensch. That's a person. You're Yerbuv of toivera. B'shagam huish. All he's saying is that, but you're not the kind of tzaddik that you're sitting on the kisei hakavod, like Yecheskel said, like Adam HaKadmoin, and not Adam Rishon, but Adam HaKadmoin. It's not like you're sitting there and you're pushing the buttons of the bria. Like get real. Is it terrible? Should I go and and do tshuva and cry? Maybe not. Like so it's an earbuv of toivera. Long you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. Like it could be even that Hashem wants that. Like that earbuv toivera. Like but that's a mitzvah that was given to us from the Eitz Hadas. That's not something that we have any. But he does give us a little bit that it is possible. For most of us, roiv ha'olam. It's very rare, as you say, well said. Shatia kulei kodesh zako nakia lagamri beli shum natia laeza penia. That I don't have any drop of penia. You know, I don't have any. What's the word?
Ulterior motives.
Ulterior motives. Machshava kalo lagarme. V'chein lahepech. Now this is also very interesting. These words are like wow. V'chein lahepech. Same thing is true the other way around. What's the other way around? I'm doing an Aveira. It's not pure. like it's hard to say somebody's pure of a pure Russia. There's probably some good in there. So this is really nice, right? Just like our good is not pure good, our bad, even if our kavanah is bad, like we're going, we shoot the guy, right? We do something really bad. We hurt somebody. It's machshava. It's not pure. There's no more purity because there's an earbuv of toivera. That's a bigger chiddush even. Yeah. So not only I can't do something pure good, I can't do something pure bad either. I'm like really, But look at the difference of lashon here. Give me a second. V'chein lahepech b'maisa asher loy toiva. Gam kein ma'urav ba. Listen to this. Lefamim. Eze machshava l'toiv. Lefi dimyono. Why is he adding this? In other words, look what he's saying here. Lefi dimyono. What he's saying is, I don't know why. I just want to take a minute to analyze this. When you're doing a Maisa Toiv, there's always some Ra mixed in. Let's assume we're in the Rov HaOlam, and let's leave the question of the rare Tzaddik out of this for a second. But how he got out of this Eitz Hadas, I don't know. But let's say there is even such a thing. But for the rest of us, every good thing we do, give tzedakah, right? There's some ego involved. There's something involved there, which is, I say, okay. But you're not like holding by like everyone should come to you for brachas. Right? You're not the Baba Sali over here, right? Just because you did a mitzvah. That's not what's going on. There is an earboob of toiv v'ra. V'chein lahepach, and if you see somebody doing something really bad, so now kill him. He's a Russia. Kill him. So the answer is no. There's probably, or there may be an earboob of toiv. Lefi dimyono.
It's a rationalization in his own mind.
No, but why doesn't he just stick with the same shita? The shita is that if everything's an earboob, so every toiv has ra in it, and every ra has toiv in it. But no, he's much kinder on the toiv than on the ra. The ra says if you're doing a ma'aser ra, it's bad, and there's no earboob of toiv in it, except in his mind he thinks that there's toiv rationalization. But it's not the etzem. You hear the chiluk that he's making? He's making an important distinction here. There's an important diuk here, I think. Lefi dimyono, lefamim, and even that is ezem achshavas. You're talking about a Russia.
That's not the Kehillat.
So it's not lahepech, exactly, Merkasha. It's not balanced.
So in the Torah you need lishma. That's where you have to get out of it.
Ra doesn't need lishma. What about an Avera Lishma?
If it's right, that's him.
Look, what about an Avera Lishma? There's such a thing as an Avera Lishma.
But
Could be
the
that
Torah
that's what he is.
doesn't come down like that. The fee, it comes down like that.
So it's just this so fascinates me that he tells us that you can't tell me if I'm right. What my reading here is in Reb Chaim Volozhin, that if you do something ra, let's say ra means against the Torah. If you do something ra, it does not have any toiv in it. Even if he thinks it's toiv, even if he's so the road to hell is paved with good intentions. But it's not that it's really good, which is rough, because all of us know people and we know ourselves that sometimes you do something wrong, but you realize that you have to do something wrong. I have a kasha. Let's say the Gemara says in Shabbos. I think that's clearly what he's saying. Yes, the Gemara says in Shabbos that if some guy goes and he puts a challah in the oven, and it's going to bake, so he's going to be over an Isser D'Oraisa Bishul. So you have an eitzah. You want to say, I don't want him to be over an Isser. Let's say the kid put something. I don't want him to be over Bishul. So I go with my baker's thing and I take it out. So it should be over. So I'm over an Isser D'Rabbanan of Redias Hapas. So the Gemara asks the question: is it mutter to be over the Aveira D'Rabbanan of Redias Hapas in order to save my friend or child or whatever it might be from the Isser D'Oraisa of Bittul? The lashon of the Gemara is Tosfos there brings that the question is Oimrim L'Adam Chatei Kedei Sheyizkeh Chaverecha or Ein Oimrim L'Adam Chatei Kedei Sheyizkeh Chaverecha. But it's not so much the Shaila because that's talking about real chet. Tosfos says this is D'Rabbanan Sachakol. Now I'm doing a D'Rabbanan and I could do it. The Gemara comes out of Maskana that I can do it. I can do this Isser D'Rabbanan. And in other words, again, one more time. I don't have the sugi in front of me, but the Tosfos asks the kasha, Ein Oimrim L'Adam Chatei Kedei Sheyizkeh Chaverecha. Ein Oimrim L'Adam Chatei. So Tosfos, that's by a real chet, but this is D'Rabbanan. And D'Rabbanan is self kol self aser because it might come to do another Aveira, right? But here I'm doing it, it's not coming to another Aveira, it's coming to stop an Aveira. So Redias Hapas, if I'm going to start doing Redias Hapas, I'm going to start doing Bishul. But here I'm doing Redias Hapas not to do Bishul. The whole Redias Hapas is not to do bishul. So it's a lomdisha chiluk and a drabanan. So the halacha is you're allowed to do it lefi the din of the Gemara, and I think it's brought in Shulchan Aruch that you're allowed to do Redias HaPas to save somebody. Some Tosfos says because it's an Isser Drabanan. You understand? The lomdus here is that the difference in Isser Drabanan and Isser Deraisa is an Isser Deraisa is ba'atzam bad. Like I'm eating a sheretz, I'm eating something which is bad. And Isser Drabanan is in the Gavra. I'm not allowed to do it because of. So the Rabbanan said it's also. So isn't that a case of what it was? Well, I really want to do deep inside. I want to do Redias HaPas, and here's a way to do it. Like, is that what's going on? 100% lishma. I don't want my friend or my child to be over Isser Bishul. So I'm doing Redias HaPas with Mesiras Nefesh. So why is that my dimyan? I'm doing something which is an irvuv of Tov V'Ra, and how do I know I'm right about this? Because the Gemara says you're allowed to do it. So you're allowed to do it. So you see that there is such a thing. So I was saying this to somebody, so he said to me, yeah, but then it's not, you're not doing a Ma'aser Ra, okay, I don't know. The Gemara, that's not, I don't know. The sugi of the Gemara is mashma, I'm doing something Ra with good intentions, and since it's a Derabanan, it's mutter. My intentions can't be good if it's a Davar Ra. So I just want to share with you something here. In the Leichter edition of the Nefesh Hachaim, he says, Machshavot l'toy lefi dimyarnai, he has a little gloss on the bottom. He makes the same diuk that we just made in the Nefesh Hachaim. And he says, Lo yitachen, it's impossible, shebetoich ma'aser ra yeh amur of toiv amiti. You can't say if you're doing a ma'aser ra that there's some pure good in there. Rak hadimyan mates ha'adam lachshev sheyesh bagam toiv. It only is cognitive dissonance. It only is rationalization. There can't be toiv in ra. Hard to swallow such a thing.
Except for Hashem's ra, the ra that we see can be told. That means Hashem, what we see as ra from Hashem, that can be told.
But it's not ra.
A person's ra cannot be told inside of Hashem's.
Of course, it's not ra.
I'm saying
That's not an ear of Torah ra.
We see ra as
Yeah, but that's the point. Of course.
It's Taiv Lamisa.
That's real toiv. I mean, a higher madrega toiv. But what? That's okay. That's because we can't see the whole picture. Very good. It looks ra, like you're looking through a small window and you see a guy going at somebody else with a knife. So you say it looks like it's ra, but really he's doing surgery and he's saving the person's life. Okay. So if you would see the whole picture, you would see that the ra is really toiv. Not you don't put him in jail. You give him a Nobel Prize. It's wonderful. He's saving somebody's life. That's in my Maisa. So I just want to make it clear. Two kashas here. Number one is the philosophical question. If everything after the Eitz Hadas Toiv V'Ra, it would have been fine with me if he would have just left us out. I wouldn't have even thought about the whole idea of V'chein L'hepech. Every Toiv has a little Ra in it, but he says V'chein L'hepech. So if everything's an irvuv of Toiv V'Ra, what's the difference of Tata Gvar, Lo Gvar? Because if everything's an irvuv of Toiv V'Ra, so everything's an irvuv of Toiv V'Ra. So every Toiv is Ra and every Ra is Toiv. But why are you making philosophically? Why are you making this distinction? And then the way Rav Leichter is explaining it, that it can't be. I'm doing something bad. It's just bad. If there's good in it, he's explaining this, but he's not explaining. He's making it more difficult. I'm asking kasha from Redias HaPas. I'm asking kasha for my own life. Everybody's like, do we never do anything wrong because it's the right thing to do? So so he says here, Ayin bar Chavos Haber. Let me just go through this little journey here with you. Chavos Haber in the back of every parak, he has like iyunim. So he says here, let me just learn this piece with you. Rabbeinu Mevayer, Reb Chaim Volozhin is Mevayer, Shekisha Adam Harishain Chata Chazar Hu Iruv Toiv V'Ra Zeh B'Zeh. Everything's mixture, homogenized. Ad sheb'chol ma'aser toiv mu'av ra, v'chol ra nidma sheyesh gam toiv. Mashma medvarav, mashma from him, as the word just saying here. Sheb'ra ein toiv amiti. That when you're doing something bad, there is no actual genuine toiv in it. Rak dimyan. So dimyan you want it to translate as rationalization. I think you're actually being generous. It's just a dimyan. I'm just I think it might be good, but it's not. But tzarich beer, says Rabbi Leichter. Mamesh shoyna yirav shal rabbatay may yirav shal toiv v'ra. Why should it be any different? Hare ma'isa toiv and Nefesh Hachaim amar shitachan shtiyah mureves gloy b'china amitiya shal ra. he's telling us it's such a negative view. Like, you're doing something good, there's some genuine bad in there. You're doing something bad, your good is ingenuine. Ingenuine is the word?
Genuous.
Ingenuous. והיינו על ידי חסרון סטדי במעשה המצווה שהוא מחשב על גבי. ומדוע לא שייך גם במעשה עבר כגבנו כגוינודם שעובר איסור דרבנן? Oh, my case. Like a person's over an Isser Rabbanah Kadesh Chaveri, not some Isser Deraisa. Like my case, a Redias Hapas. It doesn't spell it out, but that's the case. I'm doing an Isser Rabbanan, so that you can be saved from an Isser Deraisa. Why isn't that genuine?
Rabbi Berel Wein is also genuine.
Right, what's wrong? Gemara likes it. Gemara likes it. We'll get to it. So he says, Vadai Habir Bezehu. So listen to what he says. You tell me what you think. He says the explanation has to be Sheshayich Toiv Rak Derech Taryag Mitzvahs. This is a very religious answer. That Toiv is defined by 613 mitzvahs. V'chol ma shenir lanu Toiv chutz mizeh, and if we think something else is good, eino ela pri demyon shel adam. So that's not rationalization. Like, there is not everything that's good is in the Taryag mitzvahs. Do you agree?
No.
You agree? Yes. Why you so can't do anything good that's not written in the Bible?
What happened to Lifnei Mishra at the Din? What happened to Leosisas Tobias Yasha? All types of things that are not within the Torah.
Babish, all kinds of
Lots
things.
of good stuff.
Right, we were just learning about it. We were just learning about it Friday night here in Shul. That if you make a promise to somebody, I'm going to give you a gift, $1,000. So, al pi halacha, in secular legal law, it has no bearing. It's not a contract. It's just a promise. It has no bearing. Promise. You know. And al pi halacha, it has no bearing, except for that the Gemara says mefurish that hin tzedek, eifod tzedek, oimral hin. It's not even that it's a lie. It's just wrong. It's not one of the Taryag mitzvahs. That's the Gemara's point. The Gemara's point is that even if it's not one of the Taryag mitzvahs, it's still the wrong thing to do. There are some things, excuse me, please understand what I'm saying, some things that are bigger than Taryag mitzvahs. The Ramban gives an example he holds that davening is not a mitzvah. Rambam holds it as a mitzvah, the Ramban holds it's not a mitzvah. So there has to be some place for prayer in Judaism. Like that's what we do. We go to shul, right? I mean, that's the whole. Otherwise, like rabbis would be out of business. Like there has to be something of like what is it if it's not a mitzvah? So the Ramban says there are certain things that are bigger than mitzvahs. What does that mean? It's bigger than mitzvahs, and we see they did it, but it's not a mitzvah. So this is a very difficult sentence for me.
The type that he's talking about, we define it by the Torah, but the type that's mentioned in Bereshis is.
No Taryag mitzvahs altogether.
What type is that?
But listen, let me take this further, and I'm not down on him. Well, I am a little bit, but I just want to. He says, "Kedei l'chazek inyan nispoinen." Let's think about Ma'aseh Shahaya Imosa Ish Yeshu. He gives us an example from Jesus. What do we want from Jesus here? So he says a story like this. Hu amad b'yoim haShabbos. He's standing on Shabbos. Yashka. Im kama prusha. With the Pharisees. Pharisees were his enemies, right? Like, we're Pharisees.
Right.
We're the Pharisees. They were whatever they were. Essenes, let's say. So here's Yashka, and he's standing al sfas bar shenafal l'toichei chamar. He's standing at the top of a pit, and a chamar falls into the pit. Al pi din, aser lo yitzir b'Shabbos mitam muksa. You're not allowed to take the chamar out because it's muksa. What are you going to do with the chamar on Shabbos? The chamar is muksa. It's a beast of burden, right? Not allowed to do anything with it. Comes Yashka and he says, "Hu omer." So he turns around to the Prushim, to the Pharisees, and he says, "V'racham avokol masav." Or let's put it in my language. That's why I can't start a religion. I'm not as poetic. Tsar balei chayim. Muksa. I was like, Honestly, I mean, I don't know how I would paskin in such a such a thing. I don't know, of a prushi or what. But there's a mitzvah deraisa tzar b'lechaim l'chayra, and there's an issur d'rabbanan of muksa. So you take the chamor out. So the prushim said, according to the story, no. And Yashka said, Racham avakol masa, v'halach v'yitziyah, and he bent down and took out the donkey from the hole. Anachnu alulim loymar. So when we look at the story, we would say shazehu ma'aseh tov b'ikari, like he was doing a good thing, but it was bad because it was an avera muksa. El shein al pi Torah. It's a good thing, but it's not al pi Torah. Ulam, he says, but b'ayse ish lahaya mu'ervim tovera. In Yashka there was no tovera. Who are Yashar l'chol atumah shabayla, because he was kulei tamei. I with all due respect, that's like such a circular reasoning, right? It couldn't have been that there was any Yervuk of tovera because he was kulei ra. First of all, who says he was kulei ra? I don't know. Who says he was kulei ra? It's wrong. It's not us. It's not our religion. We don't believe in it. Blah blah blah. Listen, I'm not a Yashka guy. I'm just analyzing it intellectually. I'm just like, let's assume that he was sincere with the story. So if he's sincere with the story, okay, he went against Chazal, and he did not veer because he went against Chazal, but he went with a mahalach of Viracham Avakol Masa. I'm not saying he's right. But why can't that be an Yervuk Tovera? So I thought I'm going to get like a profound answer here, because he was rationalizing it because he was Ra. So how could it be an Yervuk Tovera? Hello. So let me just first of all comment on this. First of all, there's no such story. The story is talking to somebody who read the New Testament. I don't know for a lifetime, but I do. The story was that. The book of Matthew, chapter 12. The story was that the Prushim, the Pharisees, were choshesh in Yashka that he wasn't. There's something wrong here, like we would be choshesh in like a rabbi who's off the derech, like is not the real, is not right, but they couldn't sort of put their finger on what was going on. This is what it says in the New Testament. This book without Rashi. I'll just tell you what it says there. So it says there they couldn't put their finger. So they invited him to a Shabbos Suda, and he came to a Shabbos Suda. Obviously, without his wife, he was a bacher. So he came to the Shabbos Suda, and there was a man there who was sick. He had some kind, according to the words of the New Testament, is he had dropsy. What is that? That's like some kind of a nerve issue. So he said to the Rabbanim around the table, is it mutter to be merapahim or not? Now, this was a lumdish question. Like, in other words, apparently he had a way to heal him. But there's an issur d'Rabbanan of you're not allowed to do refuah on Shabbos because of shchikas samamonim. Now that's a brilliant example. I mean, but that's the story. There is no other story. The story that he says is not. There's no such story.
So here's the question. Did the Chol ask the question?
Yashka asked the question to the Rabbanim, "Can I heal this guy or not?" And they said to him that asur d'Rabbanan to heal somebody on Shabbos. There's an issur refuah on Shabbos, not pikuach nefesh. It's some kind of a nerve disorder. It's not pikuach nefesh. It's a refuah of Shabbos, and you can't heal him on Shabbos. So he said back, if it would be, this, I believe this is a quote, would it be your son or your ox that fell into a ditch, would you not pick it up? Okay. Ad kan l'shoinoi hatamei. That's the whole story. Now,
Your son and your ox?
or your ox.
What's the case of what's not?
But do you want to, how much time do you want to spend on yeah. It's funny, I've always met once a yeshiva bacher, like a lamdan, a real lamdan, and he became a Christian. So it was just terrible. So a crazy thing, but he just became like a Jew for Jesus. So, like, whenever he would learn the New Testament, it sounded like he was learning like exercise. So they had to tell him that, look, we don't learn this way. Just read the story. Just read the story. So take it easy. But what I'm saying is that first of all, the story's wrong. Second of all, their answer was, no, we would not. Now, you could ask a kasha, what? Your son, your ox, meaning your money, your child. Like what he was really saying was, tachlis geret, if you were, that's what he was really not saying a halacha. He was giving Kehillat Musar. He was saying to them, look, you're not the one who's sick. You're not the one with the dropsy. You're not the one who's feeling the pain right now. But if you would be feeling the pain, that was his vart over here. If you would be feeling the pain, you would figure out how to get out of this as a drop on him. That's what he was saying.
They should be mitamien.
Yeah, like don't. That's what he was saying. In other words, he was saying, okay, you're big Yisradrabanan, you're being mafalpel, you're being all humtush about this. That's because he's in pain. But if you would be in pain, if it be your son in pain, so that's actually good musar. But I mean, at the end of the musar shmooze, it should be right. So I mean, I guess if I'm committed to listening to the Drabanan, so even if it would be my son, even if it would be I guess that should be the machlekes. But he wasn't saying a halacha b'chlam. That's the first thing I want to tell you. He wasn't saying a halacha here. He wasn't arguing with halacha. That's all he was saying. Look it up. I mean, don't look it up. Whatever you want. That's what it says in the gospel. That, but more tachlos to the Indian. Which so it's the kasha is not a kasha and the teretz is not a teretz. Lani is daiti. So maybe there's one thing in this world I know better than Rav Leichter, the New Testament. But there's a better question here. There is such a thing as aver lishma. The Gemara says gadol aver lishma mi mitzvah shalai lishma. So what the Gemara is saying there, the way I understand it, according to Reb Chaim Volozhin, is that look, every Maisa has a kavanah. Unless you're misasek, you're doing it in your sleep. When you do something with determination, it has some kind of a kavanah. The name of that kavanah is lishma or shaloi lishma, but there's a kavanah there. What your kavanah is, that's a different story. So let's divide all of life, or everything we do, into two parts. There's our Maisa, and there's our Kavan. So on this, the Gemara says, you could have it two ways. You could have an Aveira Lishma. I'm doing the wrong thing for the right reason. You put two pieces of this. We're being smart, right? We're analyzing everything that I do, right? So I could do the wrong thing for the right reason, or I could do a mitzvah loy lishma, or I could do the right thing for the wrong reason. What's better? That's the Gemara's question. The way I understand it. What's better? What's the question? What's better? Neither one's. Just do the mitzvah lishma. That's what the Gemara is saying. The Gemara wants to know. The Gemara, in its depth, is asking: is the Maisa the important thing, or is the Kavanah the important thing? That's what the Gemara is asking. What's better? I'm doing a bad thing for a good reason, a genuine good reason. Now there the Gemara says lishma. It's not saying it's lishma. It's saying lishma. So am I doing a bad thing for a genuinely good reason, pulling my kid out of a ditch? Look, tachlis, I don't want to be controversial here, but the halach is, if somebody falls under an avalanche on Shabbos, you save him. Piguach nefesh. If it's a goy, you don't save him. So I mean, I don't know. I should never have this in the saying. I mean, which doctor is not going to save a goy? I mean, I don't know what to do. So, but I mean, l'shma base. So that's like an avera l'shma. I think that would be a very practical example of avera l'shma. If you're such a gibbet, you wouldn't save. I'm not. House is on fire, God forbid. There's kids inside. You can get the kids out. It's very difficult to make the cheshbon then, as the Gemara says, Adam Baal Amamayna. It's very difficult to make the cheshbon then and not put out a fire when your kids are even in an inroad of danger. So I mean that's l'shma. I'm not doing it because I always wanted to put out a fire on Shabbos. Here's my chance. That's not the pshat. The pshat is it's a very l'shma. And on this the Gemara says paskins. the psak in the Gemara, that gadol aveir lishma, mitzvah shaloi lishma, that you should know that even if you're doing the wrong, in Hashem's world, if you're doing the wrong thing with the right intention, that's even better than doing the right thing with the wrong intention. Dahainu, that intentions is more important than ma'aseh. That seems to be the pshat in the Gemara. We should be zelchet to do both, mitzvah lishma. But gadol, the lashon of the Gemara, gadol aver lishma, mi mitzvah shaloi lishma. Minalan, says the Gemara, mi Yael eishes hakevi. Yael was a story that the Jews were doing battle with, or Sisera was doing battle with the Jews. Sisera was a mighty enemy, and this, he's walking, and he's walking Sisera, and this Yael, which is a Stama woman, a beautiful woman, sees the big general, and she says, "Oh, Your Highness, wonderful, please come into my tent and rest," and she seduces him, weakens him, and kills him. She doesn't spike his drink, she spikes his head, right? She kills him. So what was the Avera here? Tashmish, okay, Avera. Okay. That was the Avera. But it was Lishma. And the Gemara learns from there, because Devara, right afterwards, Devara Neviah, praises her. Nashim ba'oil tevarach. She's bigger than Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Valeah, this Yael HaKeni. First of all, I don't even know if she was Jewish. She was a Keni.
Ehud did the same thing with Eglon.
Okay, many cases of Aver Lishma. But that's the Gemara's example of Aver Lishma. So that's how the Gemara works out Lamaskana. That Gadol Aver Lishma, Mitzvah Shalai Lishma, that her intentions were right. So even though she didn't have Avera, it's not only mutter, but it was a good thing that she did. So I'm just saying this is not like, it's certainly Rav Leifter, I think, is to say that if it's a mitzvah, it's toiv, if it's not a mitzvah, it's not toiv. Toiv is defined, but a mitzvah is that, I think, is for sure not true. But I'm not willing to say that the Nefesh Hachaim is not true. I want to know what he means. What does he mean that if the toiv and the ra is only lefi dimyoinai? So I'm going to leave that. This is my cliffhanger here. What?
Lefi dimyoinai. Can you translate that?
In his imagination. In other words, I'm not willing to give up on the Nefesh Hachaim. I think he's saying a deep Yisai, which I think might be able to understand, but we're out of time. So I want to go into this.
It sounds like it gives more hope for someone to actually be a tzaddik.
That's right. Like, don't worry about the Ra, but if you're doing Ra, don't talk yourself into it. Then it's time.
It sounds like why isn't there room to be a tzaddik without the Ra? If there's room to be a Ra without the Tov, there should be.
I'll tell you what the thing is. No, turn on.